Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Luana Santos versus Juliana Miller. This is the first fight of the night. Santos is making her debut here. She's 23 years old, 5-1 as a pro, and she's giving up 1 inch of height, but she has 2 inches of reach over Juliana Miller, who's 27 and has a record of 3-2. So not a lot of experience for either girl. Miller, of course, has those 2 solid exhibition victories over solid pros on the Ultimate Fighter. She beat Claire Guthrie, who beat her. That's one of her 2 losses. And she also beat Catherine Neal, who's another solid fighter. She beat Neal by Kimura and Claire by decision. Claire also beat her by decision back in Invicta. And her other loss is to Veronica Hardy. That was in her last fight, and that was abysmal, to be frank. She was a big favorite going into that fight. I did think she would win. I thought she'd be able to get on top of Veronica Macedo and ground her down, because she's really, really good on top, Juliana Miller. Just a really good top game. Ground and pound and jiu-jitsu. She's a problem on top. But she's a weaker athlete with weak wrestling. Usually goes hand in hand with athleticism. And she looked like a fish out of water against Veronica Hardy. Veronica, formerly Veronica Macedo, just looked better than her in every realm, sharper athletically, and much better energy throughout the fight. That was a real shit loss. And her wins, she's got those 2 wins on the Ultimate Fighter, and then 1 over Brogan Walker in the finale of the Ultimate Fighter. And that was a 3rd round TKO. That's more her style, Juliana Miller. You know, she's a girl that, if she can get the fight to the ground, she can usually overwhelm her opponents with her jiu-jitsu, and that's what that was. And she pounded her out from the full mount there. But Juliana Miller, she's got that weaker wrestling and athleticism where I think at the UFC level, she's going to run into some serious problems. And I'm expecting Luana Santos to be a little too much for her. Luana is a really good grappler herself. I think she'll have a wrestling advantage. She's got solid wrestling and grappling, and not bad on the feet at all. She's, down to throw. I've seen her get a knockdown. She's definitely a game fighter, and she's 23, only getting better, and probably a lot better with each fight. I've seen the majority of her fights, and she's got 2 submission victories with Americanas from her leg. It's a key lock, like from side control, from like the scarf hold position. The point is she's passed at this point. To get these submissions, she's got to be in near crucifix position, high up on the body on the side. And that's where she's able to get 2 of her submissions. One of them was later in the LFA, and one of them I think was in her first fight or whatever. But she's definitely got talent. I think she's got talent. I think she's got athleticism and wrestling over Juliana Miller, and that alone is enough to think it's going to take her out of the fight, Juliana Miller. It's going to frustrate her. Of course, Luana Santos has lost once, and that was to this really good grappler, Jenna Bishop. She's a stylistically dangerous matchup for a girl like Santos in that she is a very, very good grappler, and she was able to out-grapple her, and it was still close. Luana was very much in that fight. She had her back taken multiple times. The hook sunk in pretty early each time, and even though there was a disparity there, she showed she's a survivor, and you can't just beat her even if you have a better jiu-jitsu and you're a better you're a bad matchup for her. She's not ever going to make it easy on you, which she showed in that fight. And that is why I'm picking Luana Santos, having seen that fight and thinking if she runs into trouble with Juliana Miller, it's going to be similar type of trouble. Juliana is she's got a really good top game, and I like the way Luana Santos has dealt with that. I think she's going to be tough to control on the ground, and on the feet, I think she's going to take away a lot of opportunities for Juliana Miller to get her down. And I expect her to be winning the striking battle at range as well. So Luana Santos is the pick. Gun to my head, I'd go by decision. But I like her money line at minus 145. I don't love it, but I like it. The reason I don't love it is because I had high hopes for Juliana Miller before she lost. It's just that loss was fucking piss poor to Veronica Hardy. She looked like dog shit that whole fight. And even though I don't expect her to look like dog shit like that in this one, or hopefully ever again, I still think the majority of her losses will follow that blueprint, where she's not able to wrangle her opponent and she's slower and playing catch up from the beginning on the feet. So, and getting tossed around as well. And that's what I'm predicting here from Luana Santos. Luana by decision is the pick. Luana's money line is the bet. I will look into prop bets when they drop. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.